What up, though? It's Lady Vet with the BMF Season 3 Episode 7 review of Get 'Em Home. We're still smelling Diz from last episode when Henry burned him to a crisp. That was on T because Meech got away from the Atlanta Heat for a little minute to see what's up with his boy Jay Pusha and his organization in St. Louis. While in St. Louis, Meech remembered some baseball tips that he learned from Bryant, where all that mattered in the game is getting them home. Meech applied the same techniques to the drug game. This is huge for Meech because he wanted the game to run smoothly. Less bodies, less police, more leaders, and more money. Meech, Jay Pusha, Carter, and Kia were hanging out on the field in the Lou. Jay Pusha and his brother were joking around after throwing a few balls, while Meech and Kia looked on. Carter left the group to get water when he was scooped up by a moving van. This is when we learned that Jay Pusha has a hot head and can be difficult to reason with. Terry met with his guys about Diz's funeral expenses. No doubt the crew is upset and wants revenge for Diz, but Terry explained that there was another way to get at Henry, and that was through Blaze. Terry let them know that he was to have a face-to-face with Blaze because apparently they wanted the same thing. Hope wanted T to know that they can't let Henry move in and burn their crew. Terry expressed that war meant more funerals, not what he wanted. Pusher, Meech, and the crew set out to get Carter. Of course, Meech wanted peaceful interactions, but Jay Pusha ran the St. Louis streets and wanted whatever. Jay Pusha had no plan except going to get Carter back and bring him home. Meech tried to get through to Jay Pusha, but his ears were shut. Jay Pusha got a call from Booker explaining that he sold them mess for weight and that they wanted restitution or Carter is a dead man. Booker gave Jay Pusha an option to come correct or they would cut Carter up into so many pieces that they would bury Carter in a tackle box. Jay Pusha refused to pay and countered that have him back by 4 o'clock to that park. Everyone is lit and Jay Pusha is more lit, so it becomes an impossible task for Meech to reason with him. Jay Pusha was concerned about his reputation. At the Flannery's home, Charles opened his door to a rose gift at the door for Lucille. Yes, there was a card, and yes, Charles read what Maurice wrote to Lucille. When Lucille walked in, she thought that Charles bought her flowers, only to find out through Charles's reading her card that the gift was from Maurice. Charles was upset that another man sent flowers to his home and his wife. Lucille blocked that noise to let Charles know that she's grown and will make her own choices. They argued about money or the lack thereof for household expenses. Charles wanted Lucille to understand that Maurice's grass isn't greener than his because money can't buy happiness. Lucille told Charles that the grass is greener when watered and that they have been in the desert for a long time, and that she alone will decide who she spends the rest of her life with. Blaze met with Terry at the restaurant. Blaze brought a gift for Terry's daughter. Terry found out that Blaze will not allow his brand to be tarnished by anyone getting to his daughter for her transgressions. Blaze labeled what Henrietta has done as theatrics, and sidelining her would go against his reputation. Terry told Blaze that they have no deal and that it's too bad that he's letting Henry destroy what he's built. And Terry told Blaze that maybe he will look at him as part of the problem rather than the solution. Terry returned the baby gift to Blaze. Kia attempted to comfort Miss Esther as she worried about Carter. The door opened and Jay Pusha's guys brought him a box, and Miss Esther grabbed the box from Jay Pusha and looked at her son's finger in it. Meech took the box from her with apologies. Miss Esther went off on Jay Pusher about Carter. Then she told him to find the bastards, kill them, and bring Carter home. Kia took Miss Esther away. Meech again tried to talk to Jay Pusher about bringing weight in. Jay Pusher said okay. Booker called Jay Pusher and asked if he got Carter's finger and wanted to know what's up. Jay Pusher told them that there were dead men running. Booker and Ray were nervous. Meech wanted Jay to chill out, but Jay Pusher went the opposite way and told his guys to hit the streets, and he put a bounty on Booker. Kia and Meech realized that Jay Pusher was tripping, so Meech came up with another plan. Meech called T. I love it when Meech calls T. They always fight first before anything gets done. So Meech told T what he needed, and T seemed surprised that Meech would need like that so soon after getting to St. Louis. Meech told T that Jay Pusher's brother was in trouble, and T called Meech Captain Saverbruh and asked Meech why was he always inserting himself in other people's business instead of focusing on their business. Meech told T to stop talking out of his Poindexter behind. Terry wasn't happy, but he was sending Calix to fill Meech's need. T told Meech that it's always about him, then hung up on him. Jen was still going through after Kobe died. She went to her dad for comfort. She told him that she was scared, but that she had to make things right. He told her that she is just like her sister Michelle. She said that she wasn't, and that she did things that wasn't right. She told her dad that she loved him very much. Lucille was visiting with the new baby when Terry came over to see his baby princess, but not without catching flack from LaWanda about his time with Markeisha. Terry got the side eye from Desiree, at least until he said that he bought LaWanda a van to drive the kids around. Lucille told Terry that he shouldn't be with the cradle robber, but T stood up for Markeisha and let Lucille know that he knows about her and the doctor, but Lucille wanted Terry out of her business. Booker's living on the edge now that Jay Pusher refused him the money and his plug is closing in. So he wants to cut off more fingers from Carter, but that's interrupted when they meet with gunfire. But they take Carter and they get away. Nicole and Breeze were going through the metal detectors at school when Nicole's bag was under alert. When checked, Nicole had a knife box cutter in her bag. Breeze tried to cover for her, but it had the Flannery's name on it. Calix was on the way with the delivery, but he experienced vehicle trouble and lost control and ended up running into a wall. While calling out for help, a passerby said that he thought the truck was full of coke. Markeisha's at Terry's place when she noticed an invoice for the sale of a vehicle in the kitchen drawer. When T came home, Markeisha asked T about seeing the baby, and he told her that he doesn't need permission to see his own daughter. Then Markeisha fed T a line about being the bigger woman, asking him if he took things to LaWanda that she and the baby may need. Someone called T to tell him that the stuff for the loo is gone, that Calix crashed the truck. Terry said that Meech was going to flip and left Markeisha to walk away and handle his business. Charles and Lucille had made their way to the school for Nicole. She told them that she didn't do anything on purpose, but to protect herself. Nicole again tried to tell them about her experience with watching Darius killed in front of her. Charles and Lucille are so caught up into their love triangle, they can't see that Nicole is in mental health trouble. Nicole has issues and she is crying out for help. Jen met up with Bryant at the local bar. She told him about her suspension and that she was going after Henry. She shared a file of what she had on Henry, but Bryant told her that Blaze nor Henry would be taken down by the books. So Jen decided to color outside the lines. Bryant continued drinking. Meech approached Jay Pusher to tell him that the wait will be longer than expected. Now that tapped right back into Jay Pusher's anxiety and pushed him back to what he knows. Jay reminisced about wanting to go pro before hustling and how important it is for his brother to make it. Rob called Jay with the whereabouts of Carter, so they all headed out to get Carter. T continues to dismantle Henry's crew. Now Terry, with no help from Blaze, he's got his and Henry's crew together in the restaurant to tell them how he's whipping the work as an added service for being their plug. They reminded T that Henry's crazy and they were not trying to get torched for leaving her. Then Terry reminded them that he's about to flood the markets, so with Henry, they will drown. T will sell for less initially, and when Henry can't sell for what she paid for her package, she can't pay her plug back, and he will take out their trash for them. At least that's Terry's plan. Jay Pusher, Meech, and Kia found one of Jay's men dead, and Carter's cap, but no Carter. Meech pleaded with Jay not to trip and keep hope alive. Jay Pusher handed Carter's cap to Meech and walked out. So Meech had to leave for his meat to get the weight. And as usual, Meech had a plan. No one was to tell Jay Pusher at all what they were doing. Desiree answered her door to none other than Markeisha, paying LaWanda a visit. Markeisha claimed to come with a peace offering. Clearly, LaWanda wasn't feeling Markeisha or her peace offering.
Oh, now I know this motherfucker ain't tell you where I live. I didn't come here trying to start anything. I came with a peace offering. I know the last time we saw each other. You was with my man. I'm not saying we gotta be friends, but I'm not going anywhere. Oh, you just think you sunshine on that nigga dick, don't you? Let me show you something. Did he tell you this that out just for you? Bitch, you ain't the better woman, you just the other woman. Ain't better, huh? Well, that's funny, because the last time I saw you, you was looking like a cheap version of me, only all fucked up. So guess what? Keep trying to get everything that I got. Well, let me tell you something. You could keep both of these furs for the cold nights you got coming up. Yeah, hold on. You know, you might think you the queen. I'm the real royalty because I got his blood, bitch. Now you can take all you got and get the fuck up out my house. Wait, hold on, now. Let's not be...
Wanda ran Markeisha from her home and threw the fur at her. Sterl finally arrived. Sterl and Meech met to hand off the weight, but chaos broke out at the site. Meech had St. Louis plates on his car, so he had Sterl roll with him, but not before getting the bag out of Sterl's car. Guess what? Meech has an idea to grab his map and put on Carter's cap to escape the roadblock. Meech actually had the cops help him get away. Okay, Meech. The police had a very busy day. Now Markeisha's getting stopped by the police, but her police is her old friend Vince. Vince started talking about a taillight, then kept talking about Markeisha's well-being. Instead of giving her a ticket, he gave her his number. Nicole was doing the dishes when she heard a rock hit her window. It was Breeze at the back door, checking on Nicole. He wanted her to know that he likes her and will always make sure that she's safe. Nicole kissed Breeze. But not far away, Nicole's mom, Lucille, was kissing Dr. Maurice. Lucille felt like a schoolgirl, but Maurice felt like an adult and wanted to know what's up. Lucille wanted to have fun and see what she's been missing, while Maurice wanted her to know that at some point she had to make a decision about who she wanted. Both were talking, but I don't think that both were hearing each other. Markeisha called Vince, so they were at the bar talking when T walked in. The two men exchanged words. Then Markeisha introduced them to each other. It didn't matter because Vince didn't want to play nice and Terry wasn't backing down. Vince left and Terry asked Markeisha if she had his number. She said that he was just an old acquaintance and she liked Terry's getting jealous. Jen adorned her blonde hair and stepped into Henry's area, the gambling spot. Now, I'm not sure if Jen is the slightest match for Henry. We will find out if Jen is barking up the wrong tree or not. Clearly, she has no idea what Henry is capable of. Here's Henry, brushing off Lenny's shoulders. Careful, Lenny, you could get burned. Back to Jen. She got Henry's attention. Henry stared at her, the marks on her wrist particularly. Can't wait to see how this turns out. Meech and Sterl cornered Carter's kidnapper. Meech and Sterl asked about Carter, told Dude that he needed to let him go. Meech punched him and asked if he was stupid. He told Meech about getting the bad weight from Jay Pusher and not wanting to make the move on Carter, but said that he was dead anyway if he didn't have his plug's money. Meech nor Sterl cared. Then Meech told him about an eye for an eye, and Sterl stabbed his hand while Kenya took on her slugger persona. Bryant was still drinking at the bar when Jen came back to tell him that she was in with Henry. Jen told Bryant about doing her own undercover operation. Bryant warned Jen about Henry having a short fuse. Bryant told Jen to call him when she goes to see Henry again, and they will do it together. Carter seemed to have the worst day of everyone. Carter was excited to see his family. Meech took no credit for getting Carter home. He told Miss Esther that they all worked together to get to Carter. The high-powered Jay Pusher asked Meech, why didn't he ask him to ride with him? Come on, Jay, really? Jay Pusher got Carter settled, and first question to Meech, where they at? Again, Meech tried calming Jay down by telling him that they won't be a problem anymore, but he needed to take the bounty off their heads. Jay looked confused. Meech tried telling Jay that bodies is bad for business. Meech was anxious to get back to the bag. Meech asked Jay for a spot in St. Louis. Jay got Meech a spot. Kia wanted to know if Meech was going to be in St. Louis. He said back and forth, and she smiled. Duffy called Meech with an update on the Atlanta Heat. Duffy let Meech know that things were good for him in Atlanta, that all cases and everything was dropped. Meech was so excited about the good news from Duffy, he ended up in Kia's room. He could not go back to Atlanta or leave St. Louis without a visit with Kia. Now, she wanted him to stay, but he explained that he had to go. She talked about Meech. Meech talked about the grand jury going away. Meech noticed that Kia was book smart as well as street smart. But that was small talk for Meech before he finished his session with Kia. T felt proud of himself as he sat with Hoop at the restaurant to tell him that they had flipped the last of Henry's clientele. Hoop told Terry that he was wild for this. In Terry's mind, he believed that the time had come to cut off Medusa's head, say goodbye to the mom-pop shop, and say hello to the big box BMF. This one's for Diz, said Terry. T was about to enlighten Henry. Back in the ATL at the Platinum Palace, Meech sent a bottle to the VIP section where Duffy and crew were, only for them to look up and see Meech lifting a glass from the bar. Nice ending to see everyone greet Meech with such joy, but when Meech asked Duffy about things, he told him that Glock is the new king of the ATL. Meech spoke with confidence when he said, "Not for long." Meech was about to enlighten Glock. Meech was glad to be back in the ATL where he celebrated his home run in St. Louis. But in the game, Meech knew that to get the runner home, someone would probably be taken out. Thanks for your time. Subscribe, like, and leave your comments in the comment box. Until the next time, guys.